Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Free TFUS, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called Not a Warrior People, written by Samuel Evans. This article has been translated to the Terran language English, complete with Terran idioms and equivalents. The thing about learning from other species regarding who and what they are is that they see themselves through their own lens. In their own perspective, they are truly what they say. But more often enough, this is through rose-tinted glasses. The best example can be shown through the race of people from the Sol star system known in their own language as humans. Humans already differed from most species on first contact. It is quite common for alien races to show an excessive amount of enthusiasm when they first meet others, but the humans did not. Now, there have been a couple, few and far between, more religious societies that have expressed xenophobic tendencies. These are rare because, more often than not, theology stymies scientific development or leads to a collapse of societies. For the same reason, a warrior race has never reached the stars due to self-destruction before they can accomplish the necessary development to produce space travel. After first contact, most races have a short acclimation period because the Galactic Commonwealth's first contact team share information with them, which often fosters cooperation with even the most nervous races. Now, there have been a few exceptions. We do see races act with extreme violence or excessive timidity. We've had some attack or some withdraw to themselves and ignore us entirely. Humans greeted the first contact teams with hesitation, much like a timid race, but still shared some of their carefully selected culture, art, and entertainment with us. That by itself was a bit strange, but not too uncommon. What amplified the weirdness factor is that they readily agreed to join the Commonwealth, but still refused to share much of anything, whether it was technology, history, or culture. We never had a race meet and agree to join the Commonwealth while only sharing so little. They hid so much about themselves from the Commonwealth that it led to a huge uproar. When questioned at the first council meeting, the humans did their best to explain who they were. We are a peaceful people. We care and are full of curiosity, and we are enduring. We began their representative speech. That doesn't answer a whole lot. For all we know, you could be a society of ruthless warriors, interrupted the council member. We are not a warrior people, simply responded the human. Now, this article is not focused on that first hearing, and the ensuing chaos and accusations that followed. And it is true that this political fiasco was brimming with the potential to explode into an all-out war or the exile of humans from the Commonwealth. They were not trusted by most. But before they could be exiled, the Defragi War kicked off and drew everyone's attention. The Defragi War was named for the Defragi Nebula, where the first Roche fleet was defeated. It was a conflict with a highly advanced bionic insectoid race, known to the Commonwealth by their disparaging titles, Roaches. Roaches descended upon the world after world. They destroyed and consumed all they came across. Whole worlds were overwhelmed. The local populace massacred, and in their remains, huge, towering roast nets were built. Any species they found particularly tasty, sentient or not, would be kept as cattle. Their society had the standard basic classes like any insectoid race: soldiers, workers, and queens. What made them special, even amongst insectoids in the galaxy, is they had a fourth distinct type of class. Simply put, they were the scientists, and they drove the war machine and innovation for the Roaches. The scientists created the complex bionic components that were added to the species. They developed new technologies, designed spaceships, and bioengineered their species. This special class allowed the Roaches to completely outclass most of the galaxy in technology, especially in weapons and defense. No species had specialized warriors like the Roaches. The soldiers and the ships that would fight had to be drawn from the craftsmen, artisans, technicians, artists, builders, engineers, and the rest of our population. The volunteer force was muddled together, and we gathered what ships we could and did our best to outfit them for war. This was how it had always been, and it never seemed to fail us in the past. It took a long time to call together the various races that make up the Galactic Commonwealth. While the other races prepared, many of the species already facing the Roaches sent fleet after fleet to meet them. But each time, they lost to the oncoming storm. When the Grand Fleet was ready, the Roaches were already deep into Galactic Commonwealth space, pillaging and destroying systems whilst waves of refugees tried to escape the devastation. The first unified Galactic Commonwealth fleet met the Roaches head-on in the Defraggy Nebula, and foolishly paid the price. Like a wave against the rocks they smashed. We destroyed some Roach ships, but the few Roaches' losses were quickly replenished by reinforcements. Their ships were made for war, and unlike ours, they integrated shields and weapons in the basic design. They didn't have compatibility issues, and their systems ran smoothly. We had to add the necessary weapons and shields after the ships were built. They weren't designed with those in mind, and where our weapons jammed and refused to fire, theirs listened. Where our shields failed us and weren't designed for much more than meteors, theirs could take what weapons discharge we could produce. We lost ship after ship, and it seemed all would be lost. Then the humans arrived. Massive fleets of elongated ships that resembled silver hawks soared into the fray. They moved as one and stopped the Roach advance with their first barrage. Their massive blue laser weapons roared in space and went through 2 or 3 of the Roach motherships before they were significantly weakened enough to stop. From these massive human starships spilled out smaller ones to face the equivalent smaller Roach ships that flew in swarms. The humans approached in small squads of 7 while conducting complex air maneuvers, the likes of which we had never seen. The Roaches, we thought, had perfected moving as one. The insectoid race was like a single swarm and swallowed all while moving with a brilliance and simple elegance. If we weren't facing their onslaught, it would have been a beautiful dance of ships. These silver sleek birds of the humans, however, cut swiftly through space. Individual squads worked in flight groups and swirled through swarms. The humans engaged the Roaches with their extremely high-energy blue laser weaponry. Each squad flew in a V formation, protecting one another from the deadly swarm that tried to descend on them. Although each squad seemed to maneuver on its own, taking a step back, you could see a complex pattern even more beautiful and intricate than the swarms of the Roach ships. They carefully divided the enemy and shifted the battle towards their favor by dividing the enemy's swarms into manageable sizes that quickly fell to the better human pilots. Never had we seen such complex tactics. Battle was always a simple slugfest of just pointing and shooting until one fleet surrendered and fell. We did some basic dodging by simply moving slightly left or right, but nothing on this level. They were in a flurry of movement and changed direction on a dime, quicker than any of our ships could. We were so captivated we failed to notice the blinking light indicating a communication request. When we finally answered, a human appeared on the viewing screen. He wore a suit not unlike the clothing we had associated to their representatives, but it had more markings and more elaborate stitching, and on the coat more than a dozen metals twinkled. "Greetings, Galactic Fleet," translated the word of the man. "I am Fleet Admiral John Sebastian, responding to Galactic Commonwealth muster call. Sorry we had arrived late. No one told us the party was underway." Indeed, humans had little contact with much of the Commonwealth since we first noticed the Roaches. They were ignored by most of the races after their lack of information sharing became a huge council issue, and most everyone was too focused on facing the coming wrath to think about the humans. That was our folly, because despite our insults and ostracism of humans, they came. They heard our cries. They came with the fury of a mother protecting her child. For the first time, the Galactic Commonwealth pushed back the Roach swarm, and for the first time, humans shared more with the Commonwealth. We received new weapons and shield designs. Our ships changed shape nearly overnight, and they shared with us tactics. Advanced tactics no one had an inkling of how or when to use. But we still learned. We learned the necessary movements, so when the humans told us, we would do as they directed and help fight the Roach menace. We naturally let the humans lead the charge. They told us what to do, showed us the way, and we followed it. They showed their value, their courage, their military skill, and their trustworthiness in that first battle, the one we thought would be our last. We learned so much, but soon we learned more of their history. We learned of their great battles that shook their planet, how they killed one another in droves, how they developed terrible weapons of war that burned cities, maimed and ravaged one another, poisoned the air with chemicals, and could turn a person into a mist of blood and pulverized organs. We learned of their explosives that could wipe out whole cities and whole continents. And we learned how they were used to kill thousands, then millions. We saw past their dark history because we also knew their capacity for compassion that led them to save us. Then we learned why they did not share. You see, we were not their first contact as we had thought. They had met another species on the other side of human space. They'd met the species with excitement and zeal. The two species happily shared information, histories, and culture. Humans didn't understand. They didn't know the effect their history of violence would have on their newfound friends. Their newfound friends reacted in disgust and used their overwhelming technological advantage to attack the humans. So far was their technological disparity that humans could only watch as they lost whole worlds, then star systems to those they once thought friends. But what they lacked in technology, they made up in strategy and warring ability. Guerrilla warfare, attacking the enemy and running away, a popular human strategy versus superior enemies, was alien to their former friends, as were covert operations, human type of warfare using stealth to attack enemies and acquire information. Humans also used complex flight patterns for warfare against their unknowing foe. Using these tools, humans fought back, and it took many of them to take down one ship. Humans reverse engineered the enemy ships and technology. They learned at an astonishing rate. They even went so far as to improve the technology of their once superior foes. You see, in warfare, humans act as one. They produce large quantities of weapons and ships and invent countless new weapons and technology. They push the boundaries of their own scientific understanding until the humans of yesterday look like befuddled children in comparison. Humans understood war, and it made them a better and stronger people. Humans were a warrior race, and we were all thankful for it. Written by Gallagher, previously a teacher of sciences. He served with the Galactic Commonwealth fleet that fought the Roaches at the Defraggy Nebula and saw the first human combatants enter the theater. He later went on to attend the Human War College at West Point Military Academy and helped establish the Galactic Commonwealth Military Force, a professional armed force consisting of all species, including humans, in 2561. The GCMF continues to defend the Galactic Commonwealth, spearhead first contact, and explore the unknown. Tilby has previously written What is War, a book explaining warfare and the intricacies for the Commonwealth layman, not of human origin or education. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.